Hopefully you're coming to this video after our most recent Octarius game. This is our wash-up video where we just talk a little bit about how the game played, how we felt it went.
Our first campaign game.
Our first campaign game itself, and we're just going to talk about the whole thing.
And don't carry on listening if you haven't watched that, because there's spoilers.
Yes, go back and watch that. There'll be a link in the description below to that one. Do go watch that first.
Put it
and
there.
put it up there, down there, left, right, centre, wherever it is. Check the description, all that's good stuff. And if you haven't already, do like, subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, all those good things. It does help. So, from here on in, there will be spoilers because we are going to talk about the game. So, that game was, I think I scored about 25 to your about 10.
Yeah, I think I scored a couple at the end. One at the end.
Yeah.
I got 11.
That was,
yeah.
The obvious turning point in the game was when my squig ran into the middle and just blew everything to pieces.
I think maybe because I don't play these type of games very often, I forget how powerful area effect type things can be.
The squig is ridiculously powerful for an area of effect thing, but it is like a one-shot thing as well. So.
I don't know that I could have done much. I could have spread them out, but it's a kind of bizarre thing where this is where the narrative thing doesn't quite work. It doesn't make logical sense for the men to stand at 2-inch parts.
Yeah, I guess you could have stood around the edge. If you had concealment orders, I wouldn't have been able to shoot you because you would have been in cover. But
I need to shoot. I need to shoot you too.
Yeah.
It makes sense for them to. This is the bit they're meant to hold. It makes sense for them to be. They're going to be evacuated from the top of this. They need to hold it. So it's not unreasonable that I did that. I think.
No, not particularly.
But the squig is just. Next time if you have a squig on the pitch, I'll obviously
that thing's going to
trying to take it
straight
out,
away.
Or at least keep my men apart.
I guess the only difference could have been is if you, because when you shot with your sniper and you popped the burner boy, you could have fired at the squig instead. Now, granted, if you'd shot the squig, he might not have blown up and taken the burner boy out. I think it's on a 3+ that happens. So there was
I should have done that. I didn't realise that.
There was a chance.
You did say he would blow up, but I didn't realise. I just thought if you shot him, he'd blow up rather than it would actually do damage to people around him.
Right. Yes. So he could blow up and potentially take people.
Yeah, so I should have shot the squig.
If you'd shot the squig, he might not have blown up and taken the burner boy out anyway. You would have killed the squig because you did more than enough damage to take him out because you took the burner boy out. However, if the burner boy had still been alive, he would have been able to use his flamethrower on everybody at the top there anyway, and I could have possibly done the same amount of damage. The burner boy does.
So you did roll very well for the squig.
I did get fairly jammy rolls. The burner boy is 5 attack dice, but is only 2 and 2. But it is.
So he wouldn't have been.
It is torrent circle, so I still would have been able to do that on every single operative up there. Possibly less chance of wiping them all out in a go.
Yeah, I'm not sure it made a massive difference though, because you. Still would have had 2 here to pop a couple of people down. I think I might have had you get 3 for every operative you kill. That
bit seems massively overpowered.
And I get 1 for everyone who's on the top.
I wonder if it's.
In fact, it's not even on the top, is it? It's just it's towards the centre of the top, isn't it? Or is it on the top? I can't remember.
You get 1 if you're on the top.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, but that's 1, and then once you've scored. So I can get as a maximum. Okay, so I had the 2 extra operatives, so I had 7 at the beginning. So I can get as a maximum 21 points if I keep them all alive for the entire game.
Yeah,
that's the most I can get.
Yeah,
and you can get as a maximum.
Well, you get 21 there.
21 as well. Yeah. But as soon as you've killed one, I can't score 21 anymore, and you can.
Yeah.
So, I think it seems a bit unfair that you get 3 times as many as I do, and each time you kill one, it reduces my chances of scoring.
I think the guards struggle on this one because there's a lot of you, which means there's a lot of points that you could potentially bleed.
Yeah. Well, what is interesting actually, the points are kind of balanced in the sense that you can score if I don't die, then you score. But they're so brittle. They just die. They die really easily.
Yeah.
The squig wasn't my finest moment. But
that was definitely where it was lost, I think.
Yeah, it was lost anyway. Like you say, the burner guy would have taken some out. I think, maybe if I shot the squig, I don't know.
It's hard to tell. Because 6 of your 7 guys came on in the second round, that could have been a really, really great chance to pull a lot of my attention back away from that middle, because I then had the choice if I'm going to keep going for you. I'm going to leave a lot of my guys in the open.
But I don't think you... Yeah, I think you just keep going. I'm okay, admittedly, the Squig had done his work by then, but I think you just keep going. And then...
I definitely feel like the Squig was the moment where it was lost. When I blew up 4 of your guys, racked up 12 victory points from one.
And
one
then
attack.
after that, you wrecked my chances because once you've killed 4, I can only score 3.
Yeah.
A turn then. So I mean, it's I can only score sort of 9.
Yeah.
Or something. So I think it's. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it's a learning point, you know. Don't
I guess people were watching were screaming, you know,
kill the Squig,
kill the Squig. And I haven't studied the Pete's cards at all, so I didn't know that he would be quite so effective. And it was quite frustrating that I picked the thing that meant that they were good at combat, and the Squig it counted as a shooting attack.
Yeah.
So it would have been better had it been a combat attack.
Although my rolls with the Squig were like a crit and 3 hits, and a crit and 3 hits, and a crit and 3 hits.
Much difference.
And considering the Squig was doing, I think 5 and 6 damage.
Yeah.
It was just
so.
It's just mad.
I mean, the Squig, but you say kill the Squig, I could easily have missed the Squig, and so.
I mean, if you assume that your rolls that were going to go on the burner boy had hit the Squig instead, it would have been a dead Squig, and then on a 3+, he might have then killed the burner boy. You just don't know.
I didn't realise that could happen either.
Yeah.
I still think you'd have pummeled me though, because I brought these guys on, but you get such good victory points for killing pink things. You just overwhelm this, and you would have killed them. I mean, there were still turns left. I know you've only got one guy left there, but I still think you would have won.
It does seem like in this one the defender is on the back foot. I wonder if it's just because you're a guard player, you've got so many more points to bleed in that situation.
Yeah.
If you were the Talons, for example, you'd have like 2 guys standing on here and 2 guys would have come on. Those 2 guys standing on there just wouldn't have budged for ages.
No, though I wouldn't have scored very many points then either. So it's built in. It's got some built-in
self-balancing something, but it does.
Sense. But yeah, the guard are quite weak for this, and I think the Orcs would have done better as the defenders because they're harder to kill.
They are a bit harder.
You'll have less of them. Although if I had been the attacker, I wouldn't have taken the extra guardsmen. I'd have taken the missile
strafing runs and stuff like that. Yeah, I would have been a bit more trouble.
Just blown you up. Which would be good. The Squig was the difference. It's hard to know whether I would have stayed more in it with the Squig situation. And the only problem with it is that once I was behind, it was like, well, there isn't really any point in me carrying on. But actually, I actually killed quite a lot.
I've only got 2 guys left, and you've got about 6 people on the field.
So that is interesting. It would have been interesting if my guys, these guys, could have held it. I think that might have made it more interesting because I'd have had choices to make. Then, do I shoot you, or do I run? Do I run onto?
I don't think the Orcs are that much tougher, really. They have 3 wounds. They have 3 wounds more. So they've got 10 rather than 7.
I don't. You seem to do a lot of damage.
My rocket launcher over there, he survived a lot of shots, and you rolled some appalling rolls.
I didn't actually, and he didn't do very much damage because he took 2 guys to go out, but nearly everything you did was like, oh, well, that's dead, that person's dead now, or that person's dead now, that person's dead now.
Yeah.
I didn't, I found a save and I'm dead pretty much. Certainly up here. I don't know, that was partly the Squig.
The Squig did absolutely annihilate things.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting just about the game in general. It was nice to do something that wasn't just I'm over this side, you're over that side. Just run to objectives. It was nice to have something a bit more about it. I don't know how you felt about that.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm a little bit disappointed that it was so one-sided, and I feel a bit like I could get going on about the bloody Squig, but I feel a bit like it might have been different now. Having talked about it with you now, I hadn't really thought about how powerful the Squig was. But I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed having the different things to think about. I enjoyed having this as an objective for me was quite interesting. All I had to do was be near it, which is quite powerful in itself. In a closer game, it could have been the difference between victory and defeat.
I had some slightly easier objectives as well because I had things that were like get within 6 of your starting zone, which is like that's pretty much the whole board. So that was fairly easy to achieve and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you've got that ridiculous one where it's just 2 points for doing the interlope.
Just run a guy into your...
It's insane.
Although it is only 2 victory points and you do then lose the guy. Now, admittedly, it's the grot and who cares about the grot really in that situation.
It's perfect.
But it is a nice, easy 2VP there. Just run him in and because he's no good anyway for anything else much.
So I think, I enjoyed the setup, and I would, obviously I would go for the Squeaky next time, but I would not play it. The only thing I find is that it's very complicated, and we will get better. But when we put stuff on cards, so we're not at least on the book, not the book now. But you've got
that game.
The attack ops and things aren't too bad, but you've got all the tactical ploys, you've got the strategic ploys. The guard have got
that's what makes
the
it
extra
twice
order,
as much.
The extra order to do, and they all do subtly different things. So I've got something that gives me the overcharged bayonets is okay. But I've got
overcharged bayonets.
Overcharged lasgun is okay. But I've got the clear the line. That's an extra success. They've got re-roll sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember which one you've got and which one to play. Obviously, it's only our second game with the core and our third game at all.
Yeah.
So I think that will get better.
I did find that it was, and we're also using, I don't know which lovely gentleman or lady, whoever it was, person who made this quick reference sheet, which is completely unofficial, is absolute gold dust. And whoever it is should get some kind of medal or award or ceremony. Good. It's fantastic. And GW didn't do something like this, which is a massive black mark against their efforts in this respect. But even with that, and like you say, you've got your tac ops, you've got your strategic ploys, you've got your tactical ploys, you've got your fighter card special things. You've also got, in our case, because this was a narrative campaign game, you've got the narrative rules like the losing, running out of ammo, and your guys coming in the second round.
Equipment.
It was just mind-numbing. I actually, for what's meant to be a very simple game, I was actually starting to get to the point where I thought, this isn't simple at all. This is absolutely doing my head in.
It's kind of GW's problem. For want of a better word. I mean, it is. They have simple core of their rules, but then they bolt all these extras on all the time.
Yeah, because each of the things, the tac ops on their own, that seems dead simple. The ploys on their own, that seems dead simple.
The cards are really good. You roll a dice. The combat is resolved quickly. Shooting is resolved quickly. But then there are just so many pluses and negatives and
I mean, we haven't got to worry about the pluses and negatives so much. Although in this game, depending on what ploys you use, you then might have re-rolls.
That's what I mean.
That kind of thing, which can be a bit of a brain. But it's just remembering as well. Oh, if you roll a 1 though, you're going to run out of ammo. Yeah. And then when does the
It's also remembering. Because it'd be all right if you could pick. I mean, it'd be all right, it works, but it would be all right if you just pick one of these at the beginning and that was it. But because you can change them throughout the game, so this time I've got this set of options, and the next go I've got a different set of options, and then the third time you've got a combination of the two. By the end, I think I said to you, I've got no idea now.
I don't know. I've rolled a 3. That might be a hit. Yeah. Yeah, it did definitely feel very overwhelming during that game. When we were playing it, especially near the start, especially as a campaign game, there's also the extra things that you can add onto your base, which give you possible extra dice or abilities to re-roll dice and things like that again. Yeah, which I think
I have a comms network which I paid for, which I completely forgot about. It wouldn't have made a massive difference. I can re-roll a dice when on an initiative roll once per battle.
Yeah, I mean the initiative roll is it doesn't.
I won the first 3.
You did, yeah.
And then the first
third one I won. But you could have then possibly re-rolled it.
I could have re-rolled that one, but
you might have won.
It was moved by then.
It was definitely moved by then. Yeah. But it just feels like with all of the fight-specific stuff, the tac ops and the other mission stuff, plus the narrative mission anywhere that you're playing as well, all of that is just a kind of moment.
Yeah, it's these things. They're all okay in isolation. It's great having a comms re-roll on your stuff from your base is great in isolation, but then when you add it in with everything else, and this is why I actually stopped playing big GW games. Altogether it's too much. Hopefully this won't happen here. Hopefully we will keep ahead of it enough to because obviously we're learning everything at the moment. Yeah. Whereas next time we will hopefully have a bit more of a handle on how our fighters work. I may actually remember what the stats of a lasgun are.
I can definitely also see things like, just to say about the stats, I don't think I will, because every weapon I've got is different in some way.
Well, yeah, see, mine are mostly lasguns.
There is that, which helps, but then it's like, oh, this guy's got a hot shot lance gun, or that guy's got a plasma gun.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I think
pistol,
I forgot both the pieces of equipment.
I mean, all of mine are, almost every single one is different based on who they are. One's a burner boy, he's got a flame. One's a Dakka boy with with his Dakka shooter. Yeah. One's the grot. One's just a boy with a slugger. Then there's a rocket boy with a rocket launcher. Everybody's got something different. It feels like. I also feel like with the TAC Ops, because you pick 6 cards at the start and then you draw 2 at a time randomly, and you have to keep one. It does feel like you're going to end up taking like the same 6 TAC Ops almost every time for that particular sort of kill team that you've got. Yeah, well,
I think it depends. Hopefully, it will depend a little bit on the mission. I know I had a couple which were rubbish for the mission.
It feels like, but with Underworlds, there are some objectives you could take, and they're like kill the leader. Like, why would I bother taking a card that's going to be probably quite hard to achieve, because the leader's never going to be right in the firing line, so I'm never going to take that. Maybe
we'll get to see as the game goes on. I mean, I thought I'd never kill your leader, but actually I did, and it actually wasn't that difficult.
That is true.
So maybe maybe there's things about it. I'm just not very good at playing the game yet. So, for example, over there, when we had that situation with your leader, I was waiting, and I ended up shooting with the bolter guy, which meant that you charged the other guy, and so I didn't get to use either of the reasonably decent hand-to-hand fights.
Yeah.
And possibly I should have charged into you.
Yeah. You possibly would have been creme bruleed at that point, but it's hard to tell.
I could because
I might have creme bruleed you, and then I might have charged on my turn, and then mulched the other guy as well.
True, but I had a free hit.
Yeah, true.
So I would have definitely done some damage. I don't know what is best, but I don't feel like what actually happened was I did do some damage with the bolt gun, I think.
Yeah.
But then he just stood there while you
shoot the other guy to pieces.
The other guys to pieces.
Go on.
I'm still not sure about the medic either. I bought a medic. I kept him close to people all this time. I completely forgot or didn't realise he'd be useless against hand-to-hand combat. So again, he's of limited use, because you have to be in a situation where somebody near you gets shot and injured. Now that could happen. He might actually have been better up here, because he could have maybe
possibly
done some
he might have been
some healing. But it's really hard to know. And these things hopefully will get more clear as we play. I'm very bad at. I understand the tactics of Underworlds, and not just because I played it for a long time, but when we first started playing, I understood fairly quickly how the tactics of Underworlds work. These type of games I really struggle with. I struggled when we played Necromunda. I've struggled when we played the other older ones in the past. And this, I just don't really know what to do with the models to the best. And I suppose the classic example there being not really realising that the squig was absolutely blow me to pieces.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like some things are really powerful. Like I was really worried about these guys here, but actually they don't do that much damage.
No, they weren't. He wasn't particularly. The rocket boy wasn't particularly spectacular.
And the flame I was expecting to be really brilliant. Then when I actually brought it out there, I know it hits quite easily, but actually it wouldn't have been that great.
The flame again. He'd be better when there's lots of orcs together.
He's the worst person to come out right at the end of the game.
He was. Although, again, I'm not sure if he would be that good in this setup, because
I do feel like I might have to find one more of my Calians and build a melter gun.
Yeah, I feel like melter guns and plasma guns are generally better.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, flamers are great against you, because there's usually lots of you because you're guard, and that's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just found overall really, really felt it was getting very complex, and that could just be because it's only the first 2 games, and maybe we've done ourselves in as well by jumping straight into a campaign. Maybe we should have played a few more basic sort of match play games instead first.
Maybe we haven't got the
time.
We haven't got the variety of kill teams to play.
But maybe
we don't want a variety.
Maybe some matched games with these guys might have set us up to better understand it.
We'll learn as we go.
Yeah, that's how
we'll play the next campaign game. We'll choose whatever we have to go. We'll go away now and do the campaign.
We'll do all that stuff,
and let you know how it went ahead of our next game. Which will be in, I don't know when.
And the other good thing is, unlike with like Necromunda and stuff like that, in this, or like in Blood Bowl as well, especially in this, if you lose, it's not that much of a crippling impact on you. It's a bit of a setback possibly, but it's not going to completely destroy you.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah,
I have read the narrative rules, but hopefully it won't be too bad. I mean, hopefully you won't get too strong and make the game boring.
No.
Yeah, what happens to your squig? Is he dead now? Does he never come back? No, presumably he can.
He's effectively taken that back, so he's effectively like he'd been shot or something. So he might, be
I suppose moving into the campaign, he might die or get some of the I can't remember what they're called, but the
battle scars.
injuries. Yeah, because he is pretty much always going to get taken out of action.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in the Interloper doesn't. He's just removed from the battlefield, isn't he? He's not injured.
No, he is.
Oh, is he?
As far as I can remember, when he blows himself up.
No, not the Squig, the other guy, the Grot.
Oh, the Grot. No, he's just removed. He's
just
just taken off. He legs it or whatever. But
the Squig, I guess, every time you play the Squig, he's going to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he's likely to become, maybe miss games as well, where you can't field him because sometimes you get battle shock or whatever.
Possibly, or something.
That might balance out.
Yeah, we will find out. Although I guess there's nothing stopping you taking a second Squig on your
no, but you have
roster.
to pay for him. But no, you're right, there isn't. Yeah.
So hopefully that random burbling sequence of streams of consciousness were helpful.
I didn't get the impression that you were done in. Actually, I was surprised. That reaction surprised me a little bit, saying that it was. I mean, it was complicated, but
It wasn't too bad once you got there, but there was a lot of back and forth between reading the rule book and reading the cards. It has taken us a lot of hours to
set up and play and get through.
I mean, the time now here is 11:30, and I mean, I did get here for 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that has taken us 3.5 hours.
Yeah, and we do other shit
with everything, with all the setup stuff, and obviously we're recording, so there is a lot of. Can you say that again? Can you do that again? And just say it again. Do you want to say it again? No, I don't.
Too much. Please. Some might say.
Some might say, but that's how you get the sexually brilliant results that we get.
Sexual.
It's just the quality of our videos.
God, where does he put this stuff out?
But yeah, 3.5 hours. That's a long time for a skirmish game, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But we will surely bring that time down. He says, sounding like Boris Johnson.
5 to 10 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
A month. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Let us know if you've played a lot of games, especially campaign games. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the game. Do you think that it's just as complex as 40k, just slightly less models but more places to look, as GW likes to do it? Or are you loving it?
Yep, let us know in the comments below.
Bye!